Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome online, welcome online. Like I always tell people, I'm a community values advocate and I'm a public intellectual. And sometimes some things just pop up and you need to just talk to people clearly, particularly people from my area. I focus on my area because it's important that you remember one thing: you cannot change the world when you cannot change your own people and your own self. It's been bubbling in my mind, this song. Say, this is the land of my birth. Do you remember this song? This is the land of my birth. Say, this is Jamaica, my Jamaica, the land of my birth. Who remembers that song? I used to, the area where I grew up in, we had these, beautiful people who had stereos, this turntable stereo, and they would play this song over and over again. So, just that song is playing in my head. So, welcome everybody, and I'm going to talk about extensively with about no, right, this expansionist agenda going on. There's been this constant thing from the last 4 or 5 years with the whole Igbo is Agbo is Igbo gibberish going on. I have it's the social media, but go through history and you will see. I'll take you all way back in the 17 or 1800s. Yes, the Igbo landing. And the concept of the Igbo thing, some people will go to the derogatory extent of calling it Ndigbo. Yes, and if you're Agbo, you remember what we call Ozigbo. And that Ozigbo leads straight to the river Niger, where is the big ocean where the slave trade actually happened. I use the Igbo landing for example because the Igbos were brought into the United States. Some of them said they wouldn't stand being slaves. They would rather die in the sea than be slaves in another man's country. So the Igbo and the Igbo, see how it goes. Agbo is never and has never been Igbo. That said, I'll tell you a little bit of story of this whole expansionist idea. The whole renewed expansionist idea, I gave you a very far off historical detail, but I'm bringing it closer in snapshots and lump shots. Sir Louis Ojukwu, the father of the Odumegwu Ojukwu, was the richest African at some point. Yes, I think Guinness Book of Records recognized him, but he was landmarkly the richest African at some point. That's, the popular position Dangote has occupied us from time to time. And then the richest West African at that some era back was Egbari, Vincent West, the Agbor man, Urikize of Agbor Kingdom at some point. Yes, Sir Louis Ojukwu sent his son, Odumegwu Ojukwu, to study, I think, Cambridge or Oxford, one of the largest and most prominent universities in England, because he was rich and most likely the son was quite intelligent and can handle it. So, the son of Odumegwu became a graduate through Oxford or Cambridge, one of those elitist universities in the UK. And he came back. History has it that he was the first person with a bachelor's degree to enroll in the Nigerian army. Look at the expansionist idea and look at how revolting and revolving it has always been. How could your father send you, the richest African at that point, send you to university and you came back and you said you wanted to make history by joining the army? What was your intention? When you knew everyone in the army, you were technically more educated than them. You couldn't think of coming back to further your father's business. You couldn't think of coming back to bring back innovations and initiations to improve your father's well-being or your people's well-being. You said you wanted to join the army. And on joining the army, began his journey into secessionists and leading his own people into a war they never won. Yes, into a war that actually destroyed a whole lot of people. Not to talk about the people like Kaduna Nzago, who is himself from what is today Delta North, bought into this kavuki, dumb, delusional idea. And then Kaduna Nzago lost his life. The only one who stood the time to tell the story was the guy who ran out. Yes. Dim Ojukwu went into exile. He ran off. He ran off into exile and he started this whole agenda that Yorubas betrayed them, that they had an agreement with Awolowo when they succeeded, that the Yorubas will support their secession. Do you think you're done? Do you think things through? So another man should join you in your own battle. Against who and for what? You remember this popular song, Moritala Kecha Anambra State, Moritala, wow. Look at the whole thing that they have always done. They do things with expansionist idea and go into people's spaces to take it over. I'm giving this snapshot of history so you can all understand that you're dealing with people who are bound to be failures, who don't have any recourse to history, who don't think about other people, who are just out to destroy things. They're destructionists everywhere as much as they're expansionists. Because they want to do a copycat of what Britain did by colonization and taking over people's land. How is it rounding up well now? Yes. And then, skip many years, the whole civil war in Nigeria was initiated by them. The bloodbath went on. And then, the smart genius of whoever was running then said, cut off their food, they will die. Which is basic. How can you go to war and don't think of how you get your food? Everyone who lined up supporting their whole Biafra civil war thing, where are they today? Where are they today? And now the remnants came on. Wezwoke started up with his own movement, Masab. You remember Wezwoke and his Masab movement? That went the way it went. And then, as social media, internet became very worldwide, Nnamdi Kanu started his own IPOB movement. They started their own IPOB movement, and they started carving out and writing out maps that everywhere, including Agbor, belongs to them. This belongs to them. That belongs to them. Everyone belongs to them. Where is Nnamdi Kanu today? And now, these whole young people who come online and start making all these whole assertions, I sometimes was to ignore them, but I couldn't with what just happened recently. Agbor-Ika had their annual meetings. The Agbor-Ika social cultural group had their annual meeting, and it was held in Mbiri this time. I think it was last weekend or this weekend. And then this whole Igbo people came, Igbo people came and said, oh, they are at the meeting, cavorting and doing their video with the Igbanke people. The Igbanke, now your story. The Igbanke people walk away from their allegiance to Agbor because there was an agreement that whoever comes late to the meeting with the king in Agbor will be penalized. And then they were penalized, and then they said no, they can no longer pay their allegiance to the king in Agbor, despite all the cultural, linguistic, and genetic ties that they now want to pay their allegiance to the Oba in Benin. And they moved up, and then the Akugbe district started, and then the whole thing, and they said they are now belonging to the Oba of Benin, and they went off. And now the Oba of Benin exercising his own right, because you guys came to meet him, that you now want to be under him, he made you guys a no-case. Yes, and now he's asserting his right after your whole brouhaha with Obaseki. Now you're running back to this same Agbor people, bringing your confusion again. This is out to Agbor-Ika. Agbor-Ika is led by this our recent brother, our brother that recently died, Barrister Osuhon from Umunede. So condolences to the Osuhon. But now I think he was Danosifo has been in the circle or at the core of handling this. So this is to Danosifo. Danosifo. When did Agbor people become Igbos? That you now have a meeting and there are no screenings of people who come into your meetings. If you take maggots, flies will follow you. The Igbanke people have their issues with the Oba of Benin. They better go sort it out, and you all carrying them into this Agbor-Ika thing is bringing in maggots, and definitely flies will follow you. Same came with the Igbo people and the Igbo people who said they come with the Igbanke people, that the Igbanke are part of their Igbo agenda. You also see the whole IPOB thing. IPOB didn't work for them because Nnamdi Kanu and the whole persons, the whole people going around there have their own issues with the Nigerian government, with the secessionist agenda they have. Yes, it's the job of every nation to deal with secessionists. You like it or not, it's the law in the books. Yes, let's not deceive ourselves about it. The whole Igbake people or Igbake kings cavorting with these Igbo people and their newfound and Nyoma agenda of making Agbor into an Igbo nation is insane. The Igbo people have enough to toy with. They have enough credibility to deal with. Why this expansionist thing? That has never worked. They have done it because when you use Eastern Nigeria, they're not the only ones in Eastern Nigeria. The Efiks, the Ibibios, the Calabar people are there. So they've been laying claims to the Nsibidi. The Nsibidi, which is actually an Efik, Ibibio, Calabar, Akwa Ibom people thing. They want to lay claims to everything. And now, I wasn't going to say anything. I kept on ignoring it. And now, they have come up to go into Agbor-Ika. Dan Osifo, when is Agbor Igbo? How did it happen? Osifo is your name in the first case. Uyera is my name. Yes, and people will say, oh, you bear Nduka. Yes. How many of you who bear James or Jones or Augustine? How many of you are from England? Another of my name is Charles. Another of my name is Charles too. It's Stephen. I don't center the name. I center the Nduka. So you see, yes. It's a provocatory thing for you people. Oh, you're Nduka. How many of you who answer Callistus, Alphonsus, Igbo people? How many of those of your names are Igbo? Anybody can be any name. I have a cousin who so much likes his Yoruba name, Ayomide. He prefers answering Ayo to Efi that he was named. Yes. People can like any name and center it. And this, my graph right here is to Agbor-Ika. You are cavorting with the Igbanke kings who ran off from Agbor to make friends with the Benins, and now they have an issue with the Benin king. They're running back to you with their whole bunch of flies that they now call the Igbo people who are now saying the Igbos that Igbanke is Igbo. Now you are bringing them now and now making this thing so obvious and unbearable. Agbor-Ika has to publicly denounce these people. Not to talk of all the shenanigans that what's this called, Ned Woko is doing with them. What are you doing? They're not just humiliating people. Did you tell Ned you're Igbos? If you tell Ned you're Igbos, you go with that shit. Yes. Enough of this. Danosifo and the whole Nika people have to dissociate themselves with that whole. Go on X, then Twitter. They have a full video that they went to Nika. They went to see their people. And this whole red cap wearing thing. We don't wear red caps in Agbor. It's not an Agbor tradition. And the king in Agbor, no matter what, have publicly said that we are not Igbo people. Hey, Igbo. We are not Igbos.
Ozigbo, go, all of you go ask, have any of you Agbo people, have any of your ancestors told you you're from anywhere? Have any of your grandfathers or great-grandfathers or great-grandfathers told you you're from anywhere in Onitsha or Aguleri or Enugu Ezike? No. Igbos have enough things to be proud of. If they want a nation of their own, they should go get it on their own and leave others along with their expansionist idea. This thing got right up because Ifeanyi Okowa felt he's going to identify. He came up on that video and said he's from the Igbo because he wanted to become vice president. Don't you see how he failed woefully? All the agendas of Igbo people to expansionists and take over other people's things have been falling flat from inception. I started this also with the Igbo landing. Yes. A graduate comes out from Cambridge and said he wanted to join the Nigerian army as the first graduate and wanted to destroy and divide the army and create a nation of his own. And his people, the Biafra people, have not left out of that infatuation and ideology that will never work. And now every one of us was like, oh, why are people of Western Nigeria, the Lagos Yoruba people, taking off Igbo names off every spaces? Yes, I was like, hi, the Ozumbambadiwe, they have their own history. The wiping off of Igbo names from public spaces in Lagos is correct. Yes, I've not come to publicly support it because this expansionist idea they have brought to Agbor is exactly what they exhibited in Lagos, calling Lagos no man's land. And they are openly coming in, even in groups that are stated to be Agbor group, even if you can't tell who owns the group or runs the group, that Agbor is Igbo. And Dan Lucifer and his Agbor-Ika group are there harboring them in a meeting. Every socio-cultural meeting or meeting that's had, you have list of invitees. And you have screenings to be in any conference. You have screenings. Everyone who comes for screenings, they wear their name tag and they have screenings. Agbor-Ika is now associating with the bankers who have their issues with the Oba Benin Aware. And they're now wanting to cavort and cajole all you guys into it. What are you doing, Dan Sifo? Go in here, what is that about? And now they came to your conference with their red cap, greeting the banker kings that they came to see Igbo, that they came to see the Igbo people in Agbor-Ika meeting. What is that insult about, Dan Sifo? The protocol officer, Dr. Clement Isibo. What are you people doing? That these people are now coming to your meetings unverified, unregistered, unaccredited, with videos, because people choose to associate with these same Igbo people who have taken themselves over to the Benin people, taking themselves over to Benin, and they are loyal to the Oba of Benin, and because the Oba of Benin treated them as they should be treated, calling them monogays, and now they are coming back to meet you after over 100 years of them saying they are not under Agbor. What are people doing? Agbor-Ika, you should stop. I wasn't going to say this until Agbor-Ika and that video that came up on X. The video has been on X on Twitter, where the Igbo people said they came to see their Ika brothers or their Agbor brothers, that they are Igbo people. No, we are not. We have never been. Okowa said he's part of Igbo. He's an Igbo man with his the lion head print and that cap he wore. I'm an Igbo man. Where? He's from Abavo, Oki, and subsequently a Waliro. How is that Igbo? These are where he hails from. Okawa hails from. He's from both local governments, Ikasat and Ikanotis. Are we Igbos? No, we have never been. He was busy cavorting with them. I'm Igbo because he wanted vice president. Did you win? Are you not Igbo now in APC? That should stop. It's an expansionist idea, an ideology that Igbos hold dearly. Yorubas have erased all their name in public spaces, and they are right in Lagos State, and they are right. They are right because the expansionist idea has got to stop. And then you have to come up with your group because Barrister Osunde is dead. Condolences to his family once again. Enough of this thing. The Igbo people who say they are Igbos should go and sit on their own with the Igbo people of their own, their so-said origin. Your ancestors did the whole mistake with the Agbor thing. They left Agbor Alliance and obeisance to the Agbor king. They went off to the Benin. They have now made another mistake after 300 years again with the Benis. And now they are running to the Igbos. Look at the confusion. Look at the confusion. The expansionist ideas of the Igbos should be stopped forthwith in Agbor. Enough of the whole thing. Enough of the whole thing. Including the kings giving them lands to build their town halls. They should buy their lands. Yes, Obiawa gave them land to build their town hall. Buy your lands and build your town hall. Enough of this whole thing. Expansionist ideas is annoying because you tend to provoke the aboriginals. It's not done. It's not done anywhere. It's not done anywhere, and you need to stop it forthwith. Enough of that shit. Enough already.